Welcome back, everybody. It's Eduardo Jackson, CEO, founder, and creator of the Cinema Draft Game, and it is my distinct, if not brief, pleasure to have back fan favorite, at least the Draft Mom's favorite, Jay Devlin, our in-house pro in training. What's going on, Jay Devlin?
Hey, bud. Good to be back. Pretty exciting weekend at the box office. Excited to do a little micro pod and chop it up with you.
Yes, sir. And it's fairly unpredictable. Well, it was predictable was Doctor Strange cleaned house. It took first, followed by Trolls and Hacksaw Ridge, which is pretty much what we expected, but it was the amounts that was kind of off the charts. Well, thank you, Benedict Cumberbatch and the Cumber Bitches and Marvel Cinematic Universe for coming through and with an $85 million opening weekend to cure me of my brief debt with Jay Devlin. We're plus 10, everybody. We're plus 10 on the prop bets.
Yeah, I got a little cocky. Giving you 2-to-1 odds on this Doctor Strange over under 65 million, and I even went as far on a limb to say it would only do like 46 million. Whoops.
Well, so the lesson we learned this weekend is never, ever doubt the marketing muscle and machine that is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Doctor Strange came through in a big way. You'll see that play out in call sheets in just a second. Everything else kind of fell into line for the most part. Boo, Medea Halloween finally slowed down. Hacksaw Ridge. I think it made at the high end or slightly overperformed projections, and that's a damn good movie. I saw that yesterday, and that's an excellent movie, even though it is by he who shall not be named, who directed it, making his comeback, the Lethal Weapon himself. But it's a really good movie. It's definitely going to benefit from word of mouth. It's a hardcore, diehard war movie. You should definitely check it out. It's something else. And yeah, it's everything kind of fell out, as someone expected. Except Moonlight actually did better, a little bit better than I thought it would, with 1.24 million. It's actually going to, well, we'll see how it plays out in other people's call sheets. But Moonlight did what it came here to do on only 83 screens still. Look at that whopping $14,883 per screen average. That's bananas.
I mean, that right there, that movie alone tells you like how important word of mouth is.
Yes.
And all of this stuff. I mean, we saw it a few weeks ago with The Accountant when we were like, this movie's going to be okay. It got great word of mouth and just built steam. This Moonlight movie is just chugging along like a champion.
Like gangbusters. I was a little concerned with it last weekend when it expanded from 4 or the weekend before and expanded from 4 to 36 screens, but now it seemed like 83 definitely opened it up to some new audiences, and it's basically took the slot that Ideal High Mushkil, which seems to be slowing down at 785,000, took the weekend before. So pretty interesting. Oh yeah, go ahead, Jay.
No, I was gonna say all you have to do is look at the percentage of change in box office. I mean, you have all red everywhere, 50%, 40%. I mean, everything is red except for Moonlight. Movies never ever go up after the first weekend, and this movie is just going up and up and up and up and up and up.
Amen. Yeah, so and some more astute box office analysis. So let's take those skills over to the feature presentation. And all I have to say is we had 28 contestants. This isn't the Price is Right. We had 28 players in the feature presentation this week, and I'm extremely pleased with how it all shook out. I do have to note that we did have a severe, and I do mean damn near catastrophic change in points and rankings and everything. We basically had to manually adjust a lot of these scores. So some of these scores are off, some of the placements are off by a space or two. Actually, allow me to bring up the true final results of the feature presentation real briefly. And actually, Jay, I will send you a link to share these with you if you don't have it already. It is so basically. Okoye is our first sweeps champion. Like, he swept all 5 contests. It was a sight to behold. He basically used the same call sheet to do everything, and it totally worked. Even though he only won by a point and a half per se, but it was a really impressive performance by Okoye. And Jaybirds is in the top 5 again. Second, just missed with a pretty interesting strategy. And then his wife Kelly, they're in 6, who we'll see in top 3 or top 5s across the rest of the contest. To give you a quick glance across. And let me send it to you, chat, so you can bring up on your own screen real quick. But yeah, it was a very impressive performance by Koye. He's been hanging around the top five. He's a very solid player. Good to see him, showing out, being our first five contest champion. Swept the entire joint this week.
How much money did you win on that?
$119 total. He won.
Dude, not too shabby.
Not at all. And for all those who are wondering if this is rigged or if we actually pay out, we do pay out. He has rung the register for, I think, second or third most than anyone else. I think the tops would be Kelly. Kelly's our all-time money winner. So congrats, Kelly. So yes, let's take a look at Koye's call sheet real quick. And it was one of the more interesting call sheets of the weekend, because he definitely had your headliner stack of Doctor Strange. He had a only a 3-pack of Moonlight, which freed him up to get Miss Peregrine's at a headliner, which probably was the difference in the game, because he punted in Desierto in 3 spots. And Miss Peregrine's, I think, was the difference between his and Jaybird's call sheet. What do you think of this call sheet, Jade?
Yeah, I mean, we were doing the math all weekend, talking on the phone Saturday, and once we realized Doctor Strange was going to do like 80+ million, it was pretty apparent that nobody was going to win unless they had 2 Doctor Stranges, because it was just outperforming everything, by double. And then again, it comes down to the margins, like it always does. It's a lot of people are going to have the same things up top. It's what you do down at the bottom. And if you had Moonlight, you had both headliners. Moonlight way overperformed, as we said earlier, then you had an excellent chance of a winning or finishing in the top 3. And this is pretty much a perfect call sheet right here. I can't imagine, if you did this call sheet, you couldn't make a better call sheet today, knowing the results.
It'll be very interesting whenever we get to the level where either we or a third party is providing optimizers or whatever, or crunching out perfect call sheets and stuff like that, how close this would have been to a perfect call sheet, because you're right, this squeezes pretty much every drop of the box office it can for the budget it has. Let's take a look at.
Let's see Jaybirds. What was the difference between him and Jaybird?
Yeah, it's a pretty subtle difference. Even though he's listed 4th here, he's actually was 2nd overall with 293.21 points. And he also had a headliner stack of Doctor Strange, but he went, a little bit off the map a little bit.
Completely different.
Look at that. There's no, and that's the thing I noticed when I was going through every one of these call sheets, that there's so many interesting strategies at play, so many that could have worked if the box office is broken just one way or another. There are some that had like 8 packs of Ideal Mushkil, which if it performed the weekend before would have just totally, cleaned house. So it's very interesting with this call sheet. What do you see here, Jay Devlin?
This is some deep thinking right here. Just the fact that you have to go to page 13 on the list of movies on the site to get to the Magnificent Seven, I'm guessing. Right?
Exactly. And I think what played off with the Magnificent Seven in this case, because it was never, in any of my projections or on my radar, it's because I didn't take into account that it was going to be platform, and that was like a last minute change. It was barely made platform, like 490 screens or something, and that it still had it had limited numbers at a platform status. So that 4.65 million or whatever, 4.52 million, I believe, is the actual score. Is just or 4.52 points, 452,000. Totally makes sense for why he starts stacking up at Magnificent Seven.
Yeah, you can't get caught up in the wide release movies. You have to understand the rules a little bit. Jaybird obviously understands the rules of this game probably better than you do. He's
no, definitely better than I do. He's been playing it for just as long, but has had far much more success. Shout out to you, Jaybird.
The first couple weeks, it seems like, you need all wide release movies with all headliners. Looking at this call sheet, he just has 2 wide releases and then just crushed all these platform movies that are in like the 450 to 490 screen range that are still big time movies. And he's just squeezing out 6 points, 6 points, 8 points, 4 points. And
Because
it's
when you
genius.
figure it out, after you get the Doctor Strange, and Moonlight, I mean, it is pretty much flotsam jetsam, but it's really important that you nail the flotsam jetsam. Otherwise, you're off by like one or 2 points. And I'm not even sure what he could have done with this construction or strategy that would have gotten him any more points. But I mean, it's a really bold attempt, going, because if you had everyone going Doctor Strange, then probably trying to stack up a Moonlight, I mean, he really does get the most out of that he can with the rest of the spots that he has, not going with a 2-pack or headliner stack of Doctor Strange and Moonlight. Just Doctor Strange seemed like be most of it.
Yeah, I mean, him and his wife must just be sitting there crunching numbers, every Monday, Tuesday, or every Tuesday, Wednesday after you put this out, because they have 2 completely different call sheets that are both like fantastically optimized to just get the maximum points possible in the most creative way possible.
Well, let's take a look at our favorite call sheet, the one we deemed our call sheet of the week or whatever. And maybe we'll start doing that. Maybe we'll invent a sponsor. It's just like the Jack Daniels call sheet of the week or whatever. But this was the call sheet that we liked the most going into the weekend. Kelly's. It did place, I believe, 6th in this one, and also 2nd and 3rd in some other contests. And this still, I mean, had a really good shot. Even though the actual points for this call sheet was 288.52. So she was just a few points, just 5 points behind her husband. And big shots to them. I believe they're on their honeymoon in Hawaii. We hope to ruin your Thursday evening on your honeymoon so you get your call sheets together. But this is her call sheet, and it pretty much, it also was a really interesting construction where she went with just one headliner, Doctor Strange. Everything else she was out to nail and pretty much did, but it kind of had run out of steam because there's only so much you could do if you didn't have 2 Doctor Strange. If Doctor Strange had come in at even, 75 million, 80 million each, she
runs away with it.
Exactly.
She would have run away with it if Doctor Strange does like 60, 70 million.
Because even Trolls overperformed. Trolls got you like 46 million, which is bananas. But I thought it was going to be 40 million. Trolls brought in 46.5 million, and even that overperforming gave her a decent shot. With Hacksaw Ridge overperforming too. Those 2 headliners here are each worth 21.27 points. But I mean, it's a really bold strategy that if Doctor Strange just dips just a little, but doesn't overperform the way it does, yeah, she's cakewalking to first.
Well, I'll tell you what, on your regular pod, whether it was this last week or the week before, on your what do you call when you're breaking down the movies? What do you call that?
The shot list. Yeah,
the shot list. I believe that you buried Kevin Hart and said that movie was done at some point. And looking at this, Kevin Hart is getting 8.49 points with Halle Berry for 5,900. That is like unbelievable.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. Like the way it actually shook out once we reran the numbers, she got 8.13 points per headliner. But you're absolutely right. And what I didn't account for and actually, I actually, you know what, I did account for. I did think it was going to be platform when I released the talent pool, and it just, I just didn't have it in my strategy. It was not on my radar, and that just leads you to how astute the thinking is in this game this week. And we only have time for one more call sheet. I know Jay Devlin has to go off and stay slim and trim on the tennis court. So I actually want to give a shout out to the person who put me on this earth, the draft mom, Claudette Jackson.
Love it.
She cracks the top 10 for the first time. She beats her son for the first time. I am so proud of this call sheet, with the exception of maybe these punts at the end, which, I mean, she probably actually, you know what, I'm gonna take the lead on this one real quick. I'm just break down what I think her strategy was, and maybe we'll even get her on the pod sometime to discuss this, because I'm really proud of her, this call sheet. I'm not ashamed. It's just a waste of space. This is actually a really bad pick, but everything else, she totally nails it. She has one Doctor Strange. She goes off the map a little bit, trying a little outside strategy with Trolls, with Hacksaw Ridge, headliner stack, and then just moonlighting it up. And I mean, with the exception of this, of this pick up here, I mean, everything else kind of makes sense. I mean, she's kind of punting down here. I mean, if she gets rid of this, maybe she gets like some Handmaiden or something. I don't know. But either way, this is a really solid call sheet, which in real points ended up with 279.52, less than 20 points off the pace, about 15 points off the pace. Top 10, can't win any money because she's my mother. But damn it, mom, draft mom, I'm very proud of you. And there's me, lowly CD swag, only 274.96. Take a quick look at my call sheet, and then your call sheet too, and then we'll send you on.
I think your mom gets most improved player award this year so far.
No doubt. I
Easily
mean,
most
it's
improved player.
and the secret to her success, quite honestly, is that not only does she you spend the time looking at all these films and everything. She'll spend the time looking at them. She'll look at the trailers for every single film, so she at least knows what she's getting into. And she's not like a great big prognosticator, but she at least takes that into account and when making her picks. And there you are, just below the draft mom. Yeah, 2 spots off the pace. So, and you want some money? You won $8. Congrats, big shouts to you.
Sweet, Taco Bell, here I come.
276.21. Hit that
4
PayPal.
chalupas.
You hit PayPal. So to give us a quick rundown on your thought process behind your call sheet and how you think it performed.
Well, unfortunately, I was a victim again of 2 weeks in a row of like some kind of whether I went back in to change my call sheet and didn't click to lock it in again. So I had to call you like an hour before lock and get on the phone with you and go through and try and put a team together. But basically, my strategy was, and I want to thank you, by the way, for leaving $200 on the table and robbing me of a Moonlight headliner. Thanks
nice try.
Thanks
Moonlight headline. Oh, okay. So if we had swapped out, Andre Holland.
Yes.
Oh, damn.
Okay.
My bad. That's my bad.
Creator. All right, creator.
My bad.
You're like Anthony Hopkins in Westworld. All right.
You're free, but under my control.
Exactly. So no, I think we all got you
another. Oh wow, yeah,
another 5 points. That's all good.
281. Yeah, you would have beat the draft mom. Oh, my bad.
Not bad. Hey, there's no problem at all. If you're not first, you're last. All right, Ricky Bobby.
True.
So I mean, I think we all kind of the Doctor Strange people had the same feeling. Look, I was hedging against my bet with you. I was like, either Doctor Strange is going to explode and I'm going to do well in cinema draft, or it's going to tank and Ed's going to owe me $40 more. So I was a winner either way in life. And that's always how I like to rig it. I just want to win.
Free rolling.
But with this call sheet, I just wanted to punt with Deserito. I wanted to, I don't even know how to pronounce it, Deserto, whatever. Is that like a
whatever? Deserto, something.
2 Doctor Stranges, some Moonlights, and I wanted to have your favorite movie, Al Dil High Mushkil. I think I actually pronounced that correctly there, which is weird.
You did, yeah, big shots.
So I mean, my call sheet it looks pretty much kind of how I wanted to have it. I still wouldn't have won because I didn't, the Kevin Hart stuff was just ridiculous.
That took it to another place, and as we can see in the top end, it was those extra 2-3 points here and there, which elevated the top 5 into the top 5. So we know you got to run. Won't keep you too much longer. I'm going to. Did we cover my call sheet? I think we covered my call sheet. Or actually, no. Let's cover my call sheet real quick. It was really. I mean, go ahead.
I was going to say, before we go, let's do a quick preview of what's coming out this week, like a quick 2-minute preview.
You know what? Actually, that's a really good idea. And no one cares about my call sheet. It came in like 11th. Who cares? And actually, that's a good point. But yeah, it pretty much did what I thought it was good. I took the Trolls route, and it performed like it performed. Like you said, if you didn't have 2 Doctor Stranges, you were kind of
What is the Handmaiden? That sounds like a movie on Cinemax after 11 o'clock at night.
It's a Korean indie film, which is actually on its last legs. I don't think it'll be in this week's call sheet. So we're gonna draft a call sheet just so you can see the talent pool. This is just a dummy call sheet I put in to reserve my spot. I advise some of you all to put in some dummy call sheets too if you want to get in there. Right now we only have 1 tournament up. We shall have some more later as we fix some more ongoing bugs. We're looking at the arrival. Actually, let me swing over the the grid. Maybe that'll be a little more helpful. There we go. So this week we've got Almost Christmas. The Will Packer crew, I mean, they may not hit for like 30, 40 million, but never doubt the strength of a Will Packer production around the holidays. He's did This Christmas and some other stuff. He's a really accomplished producer. And real fun fact, his first movie that he produced called Twa was hot garbage. One of my first reviews I wrote when I was the real deal. And I said, I wish I could unsee this thing like the little baby in the movie. And he's grown so much. He's like the anti-Tyler Perry as far as producing content for Black audiences, where his stuff's just gotten more and more polished. He did Takers with T.I. and Paul Walker and some other really interesting films. So Almost Christmas seems like it's going to hit a good sweet spot. The Arrival, I'm very much looking forward to. And it seems like it's gotten like a really huge Rotten Tomatoes score. Shut In might do some interesting things as a horror flick. And then we're back to Doctor Strange, which his price is unchanged.
Prices? Are you going to change the prices on Doctor Strange?
I'm absolutely not, because even if it does another, 40, 50 million, it's still going to have some challenging box office by Arrival. I think Arrival might actually be underpriced right here in the 12.5 to 13.4, only because I mean it's almost like a Devin Booker in Phoenix Suns. Like, its ceiling is uncapped. I mean, there seems to be a lot of interest and excitement. It's mysterious. It's from the guy who shot. It's from the guy who directed that movie with Emily Blunt in Mexico, the one with the Mexican drug cartel, which is Sicario. It's the guy who did Sicario. Excellent movie. So this thing might not open as big as we think, but it's definitely gonna have legs. I think we're gonna be seeing the town pool like 6 weeks from now.
Do you want to make our weekly bet right now, or do you want to wait?
Nah, you know what? Let's live dangerous, Dan. Let's do it. What are we betting? Are we betting on Arrival?
We can bet on Arrival. What are you guessing Arrival's going to do?
I think Arrival's going to do. I'm thinking it's going to do north of 25. I really do.
North of 25.
I've seen no prognostications of the box office yet. Those don't usually come out till late today, early tomorrow. I'm going sight unseen. Nothing's out there. The closest thing I could probably look at is maybe if you do HollywoodStockExchange.com, the old SHX. May its real money play site rest in peace. If you look up Arrival, what they'll give you is, here it is, an opening. Oh, damn, I damn near nailed it. Opening weekend Arrival, 23.95. So basically, I'm saying it's going to do better than 24 million. So yeah, I like. Let's go Hollywood box office style. They say 23.95. Let's say 24 million or more.
What happened to 25? I had 25 about a minute and a half ago. Now I just lost a million.
Fine. You know what? I believe in this movie, damn it. I think it's going to do 30, but let's just say 25 and up. So let's say 25.
Are you reading The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump? Is that what's going on over there? You're negotiating with me?
In real time, on camera, too. Yeah, because you know what? Maybe this will be like our go-to site. At HSX, I've emailed y'all. Get on board. Let's do this. I think under
25 million. I'll take under 25 million.
Under 25. All right, so that's our over-under this week, ladies and gentlemen. 25 million, the Arrival, we think it's going to do. And with that, I'm going to graciously let our guest, Jay Devlin, go run off and stay in shape while we get fat and try to build the best game possible for you over here. Thanks a lot, Jay Devlin. Always great insights into the game and Cinema Draft. You can find us everywhere, mostly at Cinema Draft or at Play Cinema Draft, and subscribe to us at iTunes, like us, recommend us, all that.
Also, listen to Mostly Sports on UBN Radio. Go to Mostly Sports on iTunes. Always leave
tonight. It's tonight. Mostly Sports records tonight. We
have a great election show tonight, but iTunes is really important. Everybody out there listening, go to iTunes and go to the Cinema Draft Pod and leave a review. The reviews are huge. That's how your podcast, it gets seen. Way easier. So leave reviews for Mostly Sports. Leave reviews for Cinema Draft. Thanks for listening, Ed. Thank you for having me on, my man. And I'll be back whenever you invite me, brother.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. See y'all next time.